Hello and welcome back to the Games Kingdom, and welcome back to part 2 of my 2026 list of games in my collection that I feel are worthy of a place in my top 20. The thing with all of these games is that I've either played them solo or with my gaming friends or both. We had a previous video where we went from 20 to 11. And in that video, if you haven't seen it, if you want to go back and watch it, there are details of a competition and you need to do something in both videos, i.e. make a comment on both videos, and that comment is what would your game be in your 20 to 11 section and your 10 to number 1. They don't have to be a specific number, but which of the games would you like to tell us about in your collection that would fit into your top 20 in those two numbered sort of sections. For doing that, if you comment on both and you let me know where you are in the world so I can see where people are, and also if you are a subscriber to the channel, you will need to hit that subscribe button if you're not already a subscriber. I will be going through in this video, as I said, my numbers 10 to number 1. One of those games is a new entry into the top 10, and for one of those games I'm going to be giving away a prize to somebody who follows that competition rules, which is make a comment on both videos, let me know where you are, and be a subscriber. I'll pick out one person. If there's more than one person who meets all of those requirements, I'll pick that person out of a hat. I'll contact them and I will ask them if they want to have the prize. I'm going to show you bits of the prize because it is a multi-part prize, so I'm going to show you some of the bits of the prize when we get to the game in question. So without any further ado, let's start off with number 10, and it is a game that we've played several times this year, and it's Letters from Whitechapel. So obviously, as you can tell by the theme, this is based on Victorian London during the Reign of Terror perpetrated by the so-called Jack the Ripper. We still don't know who that person is, but in this particular game one person is playing as Jack, and they will be going around the streets of London for several nights, trying to get away with doing their dastardly deeds and getting back to their hideout. If they manage to do that on all successive nights, then Jack wins, and if, as normally happens because there are several policemen chasing him down, if they corner him and make an arrest on the area where he is, because he moves around secretly, only the policemen are shown on the board, then obviously Jack will lose. If Jack runs out of time, he loses. If he doesn't get back to his hideout on any specific night by the end of the turn or round, then he also loses. We've played this, as I say, a couple of times now, this in the last few months, and it's one win each, so we've got to have a decider, as it was. This is a cracking game. It was in my collection for several years before I actually got this to the table, but we've enjoyed both of the games that we've played of this. It's great to sit opposite your friends when they're all sort of debating which way did he go, what's he doing, has he taken, you know, shortcuts, has he used this, has he used that. So there's some nice little touches, and I've also got one of the expansions in here as well, which we used in the last game. So yeah, we need to have a third game of this at least, just to see whether the police or Jack have come out on top. So number 10, Letters from Whitechapel. I believe you can still get that game in some form. I know they changed the name of it at some point, so it might not be called exactly that now. It might just be called something like Whitechapel. At number 9, we have from CGE, we have Lost Ruins of Arnak. So for this, we've got some expansions as well in here. I've also got the new expansion which I've been sent by CGE to do a review on, so that'll be coming out potentially as a review with an expansion for SETI as well. But there will also be some written reviews done by myself for this. But yeah, Lost Ruins of Arnak is basically, if you've ever wanted to be somebody like Indiana Jones in a board game, then this is probably the game for you. We always enjoy playing this. It's an excellent game. There's lots of different combos that you can do with cards. You start pretty much, if you're playing just the sort of same powers and same normal characters, although there are some now specific character and character rules, and this also has a cracking solo mode. There's so many different cards in this that you can purchase and get. You defeat monsters stroke guardians, and you can go up a research track and get extra points at the end of the game. And this, as I say, if you've ever if you like the Indiana Jones movies and you want to play a game similar of that sort of going around collecting treasure and hunting for treasure, this could be the game for you. But yeah, it's an absolutely fantastic game, and out of all of these sort of types of games, I think this is the best one of its type. Coming in at number 8 is the game I also just mentioned, which is SETI, which is also from CGE. I do have another one of theirs in my collection called Kutna, but that didn't make the list. But that's not a reflection on that at all. It's just that I ran out of spaces. But yeah, that's also a very good game. SETI is the search for extra terrestrial intelligence, and again, very colourful, lovely on the table, and you're playing all sort of similar roles, and you're going out exploring the galaxy and sort of discovering alien species. And again, there's a new expansion come out for this, which I've kindly been sent by CGE to do, as I say, some reviews on. So if you've played this, you'll know exactly what it is, and if you haven't, thoroughly recommend you getting hold of a copy of this, or at least trying it at a club or a board game convention, because it is an absolutely fantastic game. Again, it's a wonderful player game, and again, with all of the CGE games that have solo modes, the solo modes have been done exceptionally well. So that's number 8. Coming in at number 7 is The Thing. So obviously based on the John Carpenter movie from 1982 starring Kurt Russell and others. You're basically, this game is a 1 to 8 player game, so you can get more people involved in this. You're all playing one of the characters from the movie. You've also got a expansion for this as well with the Norwegian characters that obviously you saw more of in the recent sequel that was done not too long ago, and there is talk of them doing a follow-up with Kurt Russell again. Hopefully that will come off, but this really does, for me, capture the theme of the film. It's been done so well. The board is lovely. I've actually got the neoprene mat of the board, which gives you all the space to put all of the cards and tokens. The actual board, cardboard board, doesn't do that, so you're spreading that out, as you can see here. But on the neoprene mat, they have actually made that bigger. The miniatures are fantastic, although you do get standees. But if you've got the miniature version, and I've got also the miniatures for the Norwegian expansion, they are very lifelike in that they represent all of the characters in the original film, and they are brilliant. So hats off to you know, the people who've done this. This was Pendragon. So yeah, this is a fantastic game, and we always have fun playing this because potentially one person starts as the Thing, and they can go round, and you're in rooms just like in the film. You're in rooms with them, and then if you're in a room potentially with other people, you will have to do a test to see if any of you are the Thing or not. And the person who is the Thing can, or if they wish to, they don't have to, reveal to you that they are the Thing. If it's early in the game, they may not want to do that. But yes, if you're in a room with the Thing and they infect you, then you also become the thing as well, and the aim of the game is for a human or more than one human to escape. But when they escape using the helicopter or other means, if the thing goes with them, then all of the humans lose, and obviously if everybody's turned into a thing, then the thing wins as well. But yeah, this is really, really good and very thematic, and yeah, always causes a great social evening when we're playing this, because it is a fantastic sort of semi-cooperative game. You're all looking after yourself, but you're also wary enough that you've got to try and avoid being turned into the thing. So at number 6 we have Blood Rage. Now this is another excellent game. The first one in the series of 3 by Eric M. Lang. So this was done by Cool Mini and others. But yeah, this is obviously a Viking themed game, and you get a nice board and again some nice miniatures, which you can see here on the back of the box. Again, there's 1 or 2 expansions for this, but yeah, this is a nice area control game with where there's lots of combat. You've got warriors you can hire or sort of take control of the monsters on the board. You place them out there. They've all got individual things. There's also some gods that you can get. There's mystics that you can use. So, but even just playing the base game, this is a fantastic game. And yeah, once again, we always have a cracking evening when we're playing this, because it is such fun to see who's going into which areas, and then you can see who's winning. There's clear sort of tracks on your boards that will show you how many points you're going to get, so you can easily see if you need to stop somebody building up too many points. Again, there's lots of cards in the game and you can build up some very nice combos. There's 3 different ages to the game, and in those ages there's different level of cards that come out, and those cards get increasingly more powerful as the ages go along. At the end of each round, one of the areas also sort of implodes and is not usable for the rest of the game, so the areas on the board are diminishing, so there's less space for people to go, so that means there'll be more potential conflicts during the game. And then there's a large central region where everybody can go, which is Yggdrasil, and again you could have massive battles in there, and you'll play cards, and if you win the combat you'll get glory. Your dead warriors go to Valhalla, but they also give you some rewards when they come back at the end of the round. So again, if you've not played this, check it out. I believe you can still buy this, and for me, I've played the other 2 games in the series, but I think this is still the best of the 3. There was one based in Egypt and one based in Japan, but yeah, for me this is still the best game of the trilogy that Eric Lang did. So as I say, that's number 6, which is Blood Rage. Number 5 is a bit of a beast, and it's Foundations of Rome. So I've done a unboxing video on this, so I'm not going to open the box and show you what's in here. If you haven't seen this before, again, this is a game where basically you're architects and you're trying to literally build Rome. The buildings in this are all resin, they're all nicely done. You all get a set of the same buildings, plus there's a load of monuments that you can put in as well. And as you're building up the board, this looks absolutely fantastic. It is the most expensive board game that I've ever purchased. So hopefully you can see here what these things look like. But yeah, the buildings in this are absolutely beautiful. So yeah, there's a lot of resin in here, which is why, and it's very heavy, which is why it cost a lot of money. But again, fantastic game, such a simple game. All you're doing is purchasing land in Rome, and then you're putting buildings down on those plots of land, because you'll put a little marker down in each of the numbered squares, and you can build up your buildings, and there's different types which will give you different rewards, like money, extra people, extra influence, all sorts of things that these buildings will do, and you'll get points for having certain buildings next to other certain buildings. And it's just a fantastic little game, so simple to do, so simple to play. You can only do 3 or 4 actions in the whole game, but those actions really take on significance as the board is building up, and you can also take off your buildings and overbuild bigger ones during the game. So just because you've laid a building doesn't mean that that building's going to be there at the end of the game. Other people can't really remove your buildings but you can. So if you get more land near to a building that you've already purchased, again, there's 3 different eras in the game, and different cards will come out selling different plots of land. And if you build up a bigger area, you could take off one of your smaller buildings and put a larger building on. And then if you've still got some pieces left over or plots of land left over, you can then replot those pieces to build a building on a later go. So yes, Foundations of Rome from Arcane Wonders. I believe, again, you can still purchase this. I think they also did some cardboard versions of these, so you don't get the fantastic buildings. But if you want to see what they look like, check out my unboxing video that I did when I got this, which is on the same channel that you're watching now. So that's number 5, that's Foundations of Rome. So in at number 4 is the game that is a new entry onto this list, and that is a lot of people's game of the year last year, and that is Galactic Cruise by Kinson Key Games. Now, I'm not sure, but this may well be their first game, and I've only at the minute played it solo. I've played it several times, and it really is an absolutely fantastic game, and must get this to the table with my gaming friends because I think they're going to like it. And basically the premise of the game is you are building spaceship stroke shuttles that you will then send passengers off into space on a galactic cruise. So you'll move round the board, you'll be placing your workers out on the board, and on the front of the board, on one side, all of the spaces where you can go and do the actions are pre-printed. On the reverse side, they're all blank, and you have a set of sort of templates that you can put down in place of these, so you can mix up the different combinations, because when you put your worker down in a specific area, you can take either of those 2 actions. But on the main printed board, obviously they're going to be the same place every single game, whereas when you flip the board over and you're putting those templates down randomly, then obviously they're going to change every game, and that's going to change up the way the game plays. But I would recommend, as other people have in their videos when they've done reviews, the first couple of games you might want to play with the pre-printed side, and then once you're familiar with how the game works, because although it looks complicated and there's a lot going on, which there is, once you get into it, the actions are self-explanatory. So it will show you on here, but there's sort of reference cards and booklets and things, and it's quite easy to keep track of what these things do, and the actions won't change. They're always in those areas, unless obviously you're playing on the other side. And then you'll build up your space shuttles, and when you're ready to launch, you can launch them. You pay fuel and food and water, and then your ship will launch, and when it's out into space, it'll be out there from sort of 1, 2 or more days. And each time you visit different planets or you do different things, the people that have paid to come on your cruise will then give you benefits in the form of victory points and other things, and then it'll come back down to Earth. They'll all go away, but you will obviously reap the benefit of saying, I've sent my first ship out into space, and you'll try and do that as many times as you can. There's a sort of influence stroke reputation track that you can go up and down on. You can forcibly lose some of that reputation to gain things. So you can drop down from one area to another, and you'll pick up some of those resources. Or other things that you need to be able to do certain actions in the game, and then you can build back up that track again. Once you've dropped down, it doesn't mean that you can't go back up. It just means that obviously there are other bonuses by going past certain markers on the board, that other actions in the main area of the board won't cost you anything to do. So that's, as I say, that's number 4. That's Galactic Cruise, and this is the game where I'm going to be giving away a prize. So recently I did a video. I was sent, very kindly sent, a set of inserts by eRaptor for Galactic Cruise. But what I've decided to do, I've decided to keep the inserts that you get with the game, which are game tray inserts, as you can see here. So I'm going to keep those myself, because that's what came with the game. And as a prize, I'm going to be giving away a full set of the UV printed Galactic Cruise insert trays. So these are just 3 of them. There's a whole raft of them, and they all fit within this box, and all of the cards and all of the tokens will all fit into these. So if you like the look of this and you've got the game and you think, yeah, I'd like to change my insert and have these, or you can just have these and then you can sort of put some of the cards and bits and pieces in here on the table when you're playing the game, even though the inserts in the box do exactly the same. This has all been UV printed with sort of artwork from the game itself, so you can see here that sort of representational of the Galactic Cruise game. So if you do and follow the instructions that I gave you at the beginning of this video and the beginning of the first video where I did my 20 to 11 section or selection, you'll be in with a chance of winning that full eRaptor set. So coming in at number 3 is a game that, again, I believe is very underrated and has gone under the radar for years, and that is Barbarians: The Invasion. So this game is from Tabula Games. They've done several games, and I'm not sure if you can still buy this. You might be able to get it in a trade or on a sort of a bring and buy or something, but I'm not sure if they've got any of these on their website, and if they have, they won't be the miniature version. But again, I've got the miniature version of this, and this was a 2nd edition reprint, and basically what I got with that was just sort of like some upgraded components and bits and pieces on the 2nd edition. So I kept my 1st edition, and then they just sent me an empty box with some trays and some bits and pieces to sort of enhance the 1st edition. But you did also get the chance of buying this as a fully 2nd edition with miniatures. So obviously you can see these lovely miniatures down here. I've sort of painted them all up. You get some excellent banners for each of the clans. There's a rotating volcano where this is where you do your actions, and you'll go out onto the board with tokens where you'll gain rewards. There'll be some events at the end of each round. There's a set number of rounds in the game, and you can also go out onto a second map or second board, which is a map of islands, and that's where you'll do the combat. So you'll send your warriors and things out onto these areas, and you'll pick up more victory points and benefits. You have your own player board where you'll purchase and lose different types of warriors, and depending on which cards get flipped over, it will tell you how many of each type of warrior you need to be able to defeat that particular section on this area map. So if you've not seen this, then check out some videos online. This, as I say, is an absolutely fantastic game, and again, one that we don't get to play really enough, because myself and my friends have got so many games. It's one of those ones where you think, I need to get this to the table, oh, but we need to play this and we need to play that, and of course, as with all gamers, we still keep buying new ones. As I've done this week, with a game called Trickerion. So this one came out in 2020, the reprint, but it's been out longer than that. But as I say, check out Tabular Games for this, and check out some videos online. As I say, for me, this just edges out Blood Rage, which I think is a fantastic game. But for me, I enjoy playing this more, and again, this has a solo mode, so you can get this to the table and play it. And I use the solo mode now for most of the games I buy. I will check and see if there's a solo mode, simply because I love playing games solo, but also I use that solo mode to teach me how to play the game. So then when I'm teaching my friends how to play, they'll also have me already have played it, but also I'll send them videos, if there are videos showing how to play, from people like Rodney Smith and others. So number 2 is what I think was the game of 2024, and that is Hegemony. So this is an absolutely fantastic game. So this is about sort of a fictional land or state, and you're playing either the working class, the middle class, the capitalist class, or the state, and those three classes and the state are all battling for influence and points. So this is from Hegemonic Games, and they're just bringing out their second game in the near future called World Order. I think it's not far off being fulfilled. Hoping to get a copy of that at some point. But this, again, this game goes on for a few hours, but as you can see, the board is fairly involved. You've got your capitalist class companies, your middle class companies, and your state owned companies, and then the working class will send workers as well as middle class workers. They will all go out to populate and sort of work at these companies, and then the state and or the owners of the companies, be it the capitalists or the middle class, will then have to pay wages to their workers. The workers can go on strike. You can have voting for different influences, so you can raise the tax, you can raise the wages, all sorts of things that you can literally influence with your influence tokens. They will you will bid on winning the vote, and then the areas of the board here will change, so that will make, in future turns, that will change the sort of global dynamics. The state can run out of money, and then we'll need to have the EMF sort of intervene. So there's a lot going on with this. It's an absolutely fantastic game, and we've played this several times now, and it's never failed to disappoint us. This is, as I say, an absolutely cracking game, very involved, but also once you get going, very easy to follow. You have a hand of cards, you play those cards to either play an action from your available actions, or you can play the action on the card itself. There's also a couple of events every turn that the state has to deal with, and if they don't, they lose points. They can also put stuff out for people to buy off the state, which gains the state points. The players can also trade with European markets and sort of trade areas. So yeah, a lot to think about, a lot going on, but an absolutely well thought out and fantastic game. So that's number 2. So we get to my number 1 game, and it's still the same from the previous 2 years. However, in the previous years, I've always said I've not played this game other than solo. That this year has changed, because only last week we got to the table Anachrony, and this for me is my number 1 game of all time, and if I could only keep one game, this would be it. This is from Mind Clash, who have also, as I say, I've just bought Trickerion. They also do this, and in my collection as well, I've also got Perseverance episodes 1, 2, 3 and 4. But for me, this is their sort of best game that I've played. So we'll wait and see what Trickerion does. But for me, as I say, this is still my number 1 game. It's a sort of a sci-fi type game. You're set on Earth in the future, where there is a crisis going on and there is an impending meteor strike, you're going to have engineers, administrators, scientists and geniuses that you will send out in sort of metal exosuits to gain resources, recruit other people, construct buildings prior to and following the impact of the meteor on New Earth, and you're all vying to be the new leader of the new Earth. So as I say, we've just literally played this only last weekend in February 2026, and that's the first time my friends got to play Anachrony with myself. I don't think they'd played anywhere else. They seem to enjoy it, so hopefully at some point we'll get this back to the table. There's several expansions in this as well, and again, David Turksey, who does a lot of work with Mindclash, has done an exceptional job on the solo mode, and he's even improved on the original solo mode when they did this Infinity box, which included a lot of new bits and pieces, including a new expansion. But there's everything in here from all of the expansions, including all of the miniatures. You get standees in the normal game, but you can buy the additional miniatures pack. And when this came up as a what they called the Infinity box, there was trays and things in here that you could store everything, including all of the miniatures and all of the components for each player. So you've got everything in a tray, and you literally just take all of the trays out. It does take a while to set up. It is a massive game. I've got a 6x4 table here, and it overtook the whole of the table for all of us to play this on. So it is a bit of a beast, as the Mindclash games tend to be. The same thing is with Perseverance. But yeah, if you've not played this, then again, I recommend you get crack a game of this out with somebody. It does look intimidating. It looks like there's a lot going on and it's very complicated. But when you start to play and you see where the spaces are on the board that you can send your suits to, you can also place things on your own board. Once you start building buildings, you can put workers on there that aren't in suits. But going out to the main board, you have to have the exosuits, which you get so many free each turn for the first 4 turns, and then others you can purchase. And then after turn 4, you lose 2 of those spots where 2 of the free spaces will go. So you're down to potentially only 4 suits. But each time you take an action, the world collapses, and once the world fully collapses, that's the end of the game, or it ends at turn 7. You add up all your points, and the person with the most points wins. So as I say, there's nothing else on the box that I can show you, but yeah, check this out online. There's some playthroughs of this both on my channel, and other people have done far better jobs at that than I have, and multiplayer ones. Paul Grogan, Gaming Rules, has done some cracking videos on this. But yeah, if you've not played this before, I wholeheartedly get you to try this out. So that is the end of this year's 2026 list of top 20 games this year, because it went from 10 to 20 just because I've added so many games and felt that some of them were missing out and they shouldn't, to get a mention. If there's anything here that you haven't played, let me know. If there's stuff here that you have played, let me know what you also think of it. But as I say, if you click subscribe and like to this video, if you put a comment on this one and on the previous one with the 2211 and tell me where you are in the world, then I'll stick you in a hat if you want to. And if you're selected and you want it, I'll send you that complete set of Galactic Cruise trays for the box. So yeah, it's a cracking thing. You don't have to do anything. I've built them all up, so they'll come in a box, and you'll literally be able to just take that out of the box that I send you, and if you want to, you can use that in your Galactic Cruise box instead of the trays that came with your game. So there we have it. Until we do this next year, hopefully, God willing, as they say, and touch wood, it's bye for now.